The biggest mistake that men make when dating a woman. Hi everyone, I'm Apollonia Ponte. I am your dating and relationship coach and your attraction coach for you men. And I'm so happy to do today's video because this is a topic that comes about in a lot of my coaching sessions. And what I wanted to do is kind of give you the blowdown and the honest opinion from a girl's perspective on what is the biggest mistake that men make when they are dating women. Now, the number one mistake that you make, and I'm going to go into the elements of this because of the fact that even though it's a number one mistake, there's a lot of elements and different pieces of what people do when they start dating a woman and what men do when they start dating a woman. And the number one thing and the biggest mistake that men make is they prioritize a woman. And this is the main reason why they prioritize a woman is number one is because they look at her as I have to prioritize her instead of pursue her, right? Because there's a confusion between pursuing and prioritizing. And when you pursue a woman, it's because you're trying to get to know her. There's a healthy balance. And this stuff is something that cannot be faked, guys. And this is why I preach a lot in my videos about creating an abundance of a life, because you can't fake an abundance of a life. What will happen is if you fake an abundance of your life, your energy is going to be different. And women are intuitive. And this is what I talk about all the time. And also too, not only is your energy going to be different, but you're going to be living inauthentically. So what's really important is that you do create a life of abundance. And there's a lot of men that'll ask me like, Apollonia, if I'm not happy with my life, that means I shouldn't be dating. And I will respond and say, that's probably the smartest idea for you. Because what will happen is then you'll start to attach onto someone else as happiness. So when we don't get the understanding of what pursuing and prioritizing is, the difference is when we don't know what to do moving forward when we meet a woman that we like. So it's really important. Not only do we understand the difference between pursuing and prioritizing. Prioritizing is putting a woman before your own self, meaning your needs early on. There's so many times that I see men getting into dating a woman and 2 weeks in already, he's forgetting about his life. He's not focused on his goals. He's actually doing things that will make this woman think that, okay, this was easy. What else is left? Women want to be, either if they admit it or not, guys, I'm here to tell you, women want to be somewhat pursued, but they also want to pursue a man as well. It's like that mystery component that a lot of us fight for. And a lot of times you have to think of it like this, right? If you were to date a woman and she went on a date with you on the first date, everything went well, and you noticed that she liked you and she was falling for you, and then she went all in, are you going to be attracted to that woman? There's something there that it's just too much for you. So the same goes vice versa. And number two, the biggest mistake that you make with women is you tell yourself that this is the most beautiful woman and you've never experienced a woman like this before. And let me tell you why, guys. A lot of times when men do this is because you operate from your prefrontal cortex. Men are inherited in us, in you, for you to operate from your prefrontal cortex, and women operate from intuition. It's totally different. And I get into scientific stuff in regards to this into my boot camps. I kind of like dissect all of this for you in my boot camps. And I'll put the link above if you're interested in coming, because this is something that I really would encourage you to come to if I'm coming to your area. Other than that, right now, it's more about understanding too that with men, a lot of times you have to understand how your brain is operated to work when you see a woman. Yes, we might think that she's the most beautiful woman and that you've never experienced a woman like this before. And it's just this feeling that she gave you and the kiss was so passionate, or maybe the sex is so passionate and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is the one. So then we start to do this, and the biggest mistake that you're making is you don't even know this woman yet. You don't take the time. What happens is a woman that is beautiful and a woman that is amazing and she knows it herself, she does not want a man that's going to be easily just treating her like as if she's a girlfriend and giving her girlfriend benefits and opportunities if you haven't been able to establish that yet and pace yourself there yet. She has to work for you as well. What we forget, and it's a beautiful thing that you can see a woman as a prize, yes, but you have to understand too that you are a prize as well. So when we can see ourselves as equals, then we can create abundance in dating. When someone sees themselves less of an equal, when you start to meet someone, that's where problems arise. That's where you start to prioritize someone. That's where you start to idolize someone. That's where you start to put someone else on a pedestal. So what's really important here in this tip that I'm talking about, in tip number 2, in regards to the biggest mistake that you make when dating women, is you cannot, absolutely, you cannot do this, guys. You cannot think that this is the best woman ever. Let's just say that maybe she is. There's a lot of times where I have clients that they say, my wife, I knew she was the one the first day I met her, which is a beautiful thing, and I'm not taking away from that. But I can guarantee you the difference here is they both felt that they were equal. And they both also worked on this. They paced possibly through it as well. They had open communication, and they both were looking for the same thing. Now, it's really important that you understand that when you get to that point, that woman is also looking for the same thing as well, eventually. And that's why it's so important to pace yourself, which leads me in to tip number 3, is you go all in. And this is where the difference, what I was talking about in tip number 1 with pursuing, is different. Sometimes men think that in order for me to court and pursue this woman, I have to go all in. And that means you're sending her all these text messages, and you're forgetting that you have tennis matches on Saturday night. Instead, you're hanging out with her every Saturday. Or when she says jump, you're like, how high do you want me to jump, type of thing. And that's the thing, is you lose the opportunity within yourself and you forget about your own life. And that's what we cannot do. This is the time I want you guys to understand too. When you're dating a woman, the biggest opportunity that you can do is actually opposite of what you think is right sometimes. And that is showcasing your independence. Because remember, independence is significant in relationships in general. And this starts to show in the beginning when you start dating a woman. If you don't show this in the beginning in dating a woman, it shows there's no emotional control. And women look for a man that has that masculine presence also, because of the fact that there is a masculine control with his emotions, his life, his integrity. And that comes into a masculine energy, and that's why women crave this. And also too, it's like you men. You want women to be feminine. You want us to receive. You want us to be beautiful. You want us to carry ourselves well as a feminine woman, because that's what as we are, and that's what we're created to be. So don't take that away from a woman. Let her also have the opportunity to do this. And what happens is men sometimes can take both of those roles on and not give that opportunity to a woman. And then they start thinking like, why hasn't she called me back? Why isn't she doing this? Why is she hanging out with this other guy and doing this and this? And it's because the foundational rules are not met within each other. So I'm getting carried on in regards to a relationship here, but that's what happens. And when it comes to when you first start to date a woman, and then if you don't do understand the woman and pace yourself and get those foundational rules, then when you get to a point of 3-4 months from now and you guys aren't anything and you've fallen deeper for her, then the problem arises because you, one, were not prioritizing your own life. You made her a priority instead of pursuing her, and you didn't pursue your own life, and you forgot about your goals, and you looked at this woman as she's the best woman and she's the only one out there. I'm telling you guys, these are the keys that you need to understand to stop making these mistakes. They might come off as needy behavior, whatever you may classify it as. But the ultimate key in regards to any of these tips that I've given you in this video is to understand these things. Is number one is women do want to work for you as well. No matter if they will admit it or not, I'm telling you right now. I just interviewed a panel of 7 women yesterday. And that was the one thing that they've admitted, that they also want to feel like not only are they the prize, but also they have to work with you as well. And how you decipher the two is literally by creating your own life. You cannot fake this, guys. And that's why it's so important to live in happiness for yourself. And then also too is understanding, and this is why you're here now, is that you need to have the education when it comes to attraction, relationships, and things like that. So why I end it with this is because I've created a program for you. It's called my Friend Zone No More product. And here's the thing about this product. It's like literally the answers to what a lot of men fall into, like the no moreness, like the nice guy area or the friend zone area. And they fall into these things and they don't know why they can't get a woman. Well, I'm here to tell you that even though if you're not even in the friend zone yet, this product will help you because I really dissect what you need to know in order to court a woman, the mindsets that you have to have, how to rebuttal when she shit tests you. And also on there, you have a VIP membership program with me. I go in there once a month and you have a bunch of men in there that support you. And that is literally, I mean, there's no price tag for that. I love this program too because there's so many results that men have been getting when it comes to understanding when they like a woman, how to go about it, so they understand the difference between attraction and just being the nice guy and how to step up to the plate. Honestly, this is life-changing stuff, guys. And if you can just implement the tools that I'm giving you in this product, you will be able to change this overall if these are the mistakes that you are making. As always, I welcome your comments and questions below. Share this with someone that can get help from this video and that you think that needs to view this. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.